Good morning. Good morning, Facebook. How are you this morning? Hello, hello. Facebook is going to let everybody know I'm here. I'm going to share it to my own page as well. And there you hear it. Well, good morning. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching on replay if you're watching on replay. And when you join, please make sure that you drop the comment, say hi, and let me know that you're here. And if you're watching on replay, let me know that too, so I can come back and say hi. Thank you to everybody who joined or watched on replay the Monday video. Things have been rocking and rolling here in Lone Orange Land, and I'm excited to join you here, and I'm excited about the conversations that we're going to be having in the coming months and coming weeks. So I hope that you're going to be able to join us as much as you are able to. So my name is Tiffany Huckelman, and I am the founder of Lone Orange. Our whole goal is helping small business owners confidently clarify their identity and value to powerfully attract the right clients. That's why we're here. That's why we do what we do. My core belief is that you have something special to do in this world. And so I want to help you figure out what that is. So welcome, hello, everybody who's joining us. Say hi. Don't forget to put a comment in the comment box so that I know that you're here. I'm excited to have you, and if you are replaying, definitely put your name down there. Say something so that I know you're watching, and then I can come back and say hi or answer any questions you might have. So Lone Orange helps people brand their unique businesses. That's what we do, and what's exciting about the work that we do is that we help brand the visual, the verbal, helping people understand what their brand is and help them dig in. But then we help them go deeper by incorporating that brand into their operational systems and tools so that they actually serve their clients the way they say they do. There can be a big disconnect when you decide this is who we are and this is how we're going to show up in the world, but then that's not what your clients or prospects experience. There's a huge disconnect there, and that's important to pay attention to, especially as solopreneurs and micro businesses. We've got to pay attention to how our brand is interacting with our clients. So that's what I do for a business, and so I actually decided recently to do my own rebrand. And I have learned so much through this process. And I felt like since, that's what I help other people with, I wanted to reflect on my experience and share that with you because it is hard. It is, hello, Maureen, how are you? Hello, I see you there. Good to see you. So I recently decided to rebrand myself, and it is hard because figuring out your brand is digging deep. It's getting clarity on who I was and who I wanted to be, what I wanted my business to show up like, my team and I. I have a team, but I am kind of the main vision holder, in essence, a solopreneur, and so that is an extension of me. So it's a very vulnerable, very deep kind of thing to have to figure out what my brand is. So it took a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of introspection to actually get that clarity about who Lone Orange was, what kind of work we were going to do in the world, and who we can best help. We also then had to spend a lot of time getting the right message, getting the visual communication, and then figuring out how to get that message out to you so that you knew what we did and that if it was a fit for you and that we could help you in your business, that you would know that we would be the best fit for you. So I totally get it. Like, this whole rebranding concept is probably not what you got into business for. Except you, Maureen. You did get into business for this because you do the same kind of work, so which is awesome. Hello, everybody else who's joining us. Don't forget to put a replay if you're watching replay, and say hi if you're joining us live. So I totally get it, and I want you to understand that branding is not an easy thing. I had to actually go hire people to help me do it so that they could pull out of me who I wanted to be and how I wanted to show up. And so I want to, bring this to you and kind of share this experience with you so that you know, one, what to expect if you decide to brand or rebrand, and two, have a realistic expectation, I guess, of what that is. And 3, understand that hiring other people and getting other people's help is normal and necessary to be able to do it well. The number one question that I get from people when I'm speaking or when I'm out networking and talking to people is, well, how do I know when it's time to rebrand? That is literally the number one question I get. And so it was interesting when I decided that it was time for myself to rebrand. It was interesting to kind of go through that process to how to really figure out when it's time. I just posted a new blog post earlier this week, and I believe the link is in the description of this Facebook Live, so you can go back and read it. It kind of answers that question. There's a lot to sort through when you decide it's time to brand or rebrand, and it's not a decision to take lightly. So my hope is to help you kind of think it through for yourself and to determine when it's time. So here's some of the things that made me realize, and what the kind of thought process that I went through to realize that it was time. It was time to rebrand. So the last time I had done my brand was about 5 years ago, when I actually changed complete focus of my company. I actually had to change my name. I had a trademark infringement issue, which kind of forced me to change my name, but that's a story for another day. Probably will be a good story or a good Facebook Live topic, because it's an important one. But so I did that about 5 years ago, not to mention branding my company when I first started. So I did it 5 years ago, and things really hadn't changed too much. It was serving me well enough. But recently, probably maybe in the last 11 months or so, I realized that my service offerings had changed significantly enough that the current brand just wasn't doing it for me. It wasn't doing it for the company. It was no longer the image that I wanted to portray. Like, I needed to update what that image was so that it reflected what Lone Orange does and the value that we bring to clients. I had to sit down and think, well, do I want to just do a brand refresh? Do I just kind of want to update what we've got? Or do I want to do a complete overhaul? You know, name change, logo change, everything change. I opted, because I had 5 years of what in the industry we call brand equity. So people had recognized the name Lone Orange. They were starting to recognize the logo, and especially little Pete the Lone Orange, who's my buddy over, wrong shoulder, over here. So this is Pete. So there was some recognition, and people liked it. Like, people remembered it, and people recognized it. Even if I had never met somebody when I was out networking, they saw the name Lone Orange or heard the name Lone Orange, they thought, oh, I've heard of you, or I've seen that logo. So I had some recognition there that I felt was valuable enough for our company. So I chose to just do a refresh. We just kind of did some tweaks with the logo, and it just kind of brought it into the future from 5 years ago. So made it more current, made it a little more sophisticated, make it reflect a little bit more who we are today. So that was kind of how I decided for the brand refresh versus the overhaul. There are certainly times when it's time to change your name, or it's time to completely change your logo, and those are times when really it is time for a change. Like, your service offerings have changed so much, your brand, your core values, what you deliver changed so much. That's when it's time to make a big change. But you can also just do a good little refresh. I also had to make sure that I was ready to make the investment. Not only financial, because there certainly is a financial commitment, and it can be a pretty hefty goal, a hefty price tag, depending on what you do and who helps you do it. But it was also a huge time commitment. I had to really commit to taking the time to think and delve deep and ask myself the questions and ask other people for their feedback. So it took a lot of time and introspection and digging deep for myself. And so I had to make sure that I was ready for that investment. But for me, it was also about the goal. So my personal goal was to be able to help more people figure out, get clear and get focused on who they are and the kind of work that they wanted to do in the world, and who they could best help. That is my ultimate goal, because I do believe that we all have something important to do in this world, and I want to help you get clear on that. You are really good at what you do, But if you can't talk about that or clearly communicate that, then you're not going to be as successful as you can be, because other people don't understand. So they're not going to know that you can help them. They're not going to want to buy from you or be able to buy from you because they don't know that you can help them. And they're not going to be able to talk about you to other people who you could help. So I really had to think about what that investment was like. I did save up for a while, and I blocked out time in my calendar to actually take the time to think about my rebranding. And I had to think about all the steps that it was going to take. All the, I mean, from the big stuff to even the little stuff, to thinking about, okay, so once we have the new logo, we have to do all the new social media covers and profile images. We've got to get everybody on my team who needs the logos, get the logos. So all of those little details needed to happen too, so that we didn't lose something. I actually, one of the other little details that I haven't done yet is I've got a sticker on the back of my card that is the old logo. It's wearing, so it's time to go anyway. But one of the things I need to do to help kind of make this rebrand complete, I need to scrape that off. Maybe I'll get a new one. Maybe I won't. Don't know yet. But just to make this whole branding complete, I want to make sure to get that scraped off. So it's just one of those details where your brand shows up, and making sure that that is all integrated as well. My PSA to you, my word of warning, my plea is, don't get caught up thinking that you need to spend more on your brand or on your business in any way if it doesn't make sense for your business now. I see way too many people, and I've made the mistake myself, of buying for the vision when it didn't make sense for the vision for the business now. So I have spent way too much money on products and tools that were awesome, and I wanted to be able to be big enough to use them, but they really didn't fit my size right now. So the same goes with branding. Make sure that what you're spending your money on makes sense for your business now. Certainly you want to think to the future. Like, I'm not saying don't be able to grow into something, but also just be aware of what you're spending now and making sure that you've got that, that it makes sense for you, that it's right sized for you. I want to say hi again to everybody. I see people joining, and so I want to say hi. Make sure you say hi or wave in the comments. Facebook offers you just kind of the automatic waves and good morning, so feel free to use that so I can say hi. And then again, if you're watching on a replay, make sure that you say hi so I can come back and say hi to you. I'd love to say hi. And if you've got questions about your own rebranding, we'll get into that more next week. But if you've got questions, feel free to drop them in the comments here. I can either answer them here, I can come back and type your answers, or we can really dig into that next Thursday. So that's kind of that's the process that I went through to figure out if it was time to rebrand. So you can kind of be asking yourself those kind of questions. Hey, Shanna, hello, across the street. Hello, how are you? So I am committing to making sure that I am here Thursday mornings at 9 o'clock every week to talk about branding, small business, solo entrepreneurship, micro business running, to talk about all these topics, to talk about what you do to brand and rebrand, how you dig into these things. I've got a lot of great topics planned and a lot of meaty stuff. Like, I want to get into this and help you figure this kind of stuff out for yourself. So please put questions, shoot me questions, private message me questions as we go. I'd love to know that. So I'll be back here next Thursday at 9 a.m. I'll be here every week. That's the plan, knock on wood. And I'm excited. I'm really excited about being here with you on Thursday mornings. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. In the meantime, though, check out my new website, roam around, learn about what Lone Orange is up to, read the blog post about how I decided it was time to rebrand. And if you think that you might be interested in talking to me about if this makes sense for you or if this kind of work makes sense for you, I also put in the description a Let's Collaborate button, just a chance for us to have a 30-minute conversation, no obligation, just to talk about where you're at with your company, what you feel like you need, see if Lone Orange might be a fit for you. So feel free to schedule that appointment with me if you want to talk more about your brand. So I think that's it for now. Hello again, everybody. Good to see you. Thanks for joining me live, and I look forward to talking to everybody who watches on replay as well, and I will see you next Thursday. Have a great week. Bye.